Understanding is always the key to freedom, emotional, physical, psychological, and even spiritual. When we understand the nature of something, we can work with it. Before an artist can create her masterpiece, she first has to master not just the skill of application, but understand the nature of the medium in which she's working. The material that will turn into that masterwork must be deeply understood and intimately understood. What can it do? What can it not do? You don't make a sculpture out of oil paint, which is why understanding the nature of the energy system, that means your nature, by the way, gives us the power and authority to bring it back into harmony and flow.
Hello there, this is Misa from Finland. Subtext is about the character's endeavors and thoughts that differ from the content of the spoken lines. Subtext is needed when the endeavors of the character wants to be displayed to the audience but kept a secret from the other characters or other participants of the fiction. Subtext is in its most interesting peak when a character is, for example, lying. Often the lines of the character might be interpreted as truth, and the character is being analyzed as if it were equal to its speech. In truth, the character, likewise real life, people are equal to their actions. So, the analysis is best to begin with how the character functions and only then how it speaks. Having done this way, the subtext absolutely flourishes for the benefits of acting.
Well, subtext obviously serves the purpose for better acting. That's the only goal what we have, to act better. It's first and foremost the use of imagery and an essential part of my acting. The subtext can also include fantasies, symbolism, dreams, anything, and the subconsciousness. Now, few examples. I was performing some poems in my production, and my dear friend, my neighbor of mine, 92 years old, very famous Finnish opera singer, was in the audience. And I told her before the show that actually I'm really nervous. I can't remember the lines because she is here. Her presence is so affecting me so powerfully, and I can't remember. And her answer was not to worry. And she said, why do you go by text? Why do you say the text from your head? Why don't you say the text from your body and from your pastness, your life? Knitting the lines to my real life imagery would help, and it did. I knew my lines because I was using the memories of my life. Another theater show that I was acting a few weeks ago, I was really sure, 100% sure, that my sister was sitting in the middle of the first row of the audience. I saw her from the stage, and I was really surprised because we didn't meet in many years. We are not so good friends, actually, you know. Well, this experience flashbacked me straight to the 70s, 1970s, to our home, into our shared memories. The memories blended with the themes of the ongoing show, and they became the subtext that helped me to perform one of my best first halves this season. And during halftime, I realized that actually, in reality, that's not my sister. She hadn't come to the show at all. It was somebody totally different person. Anyway, then I caught myself thinking, because I was disappointed that, well, I don't need to be such a good actor tonight, because why? No, anyway, however, during the second half, I noticed amongst the audience a well-known Finnish actress from National Theatre, and from then on I thought about everything I did through her world of experience, how she's watching me, and you know, these things. Of course, this was all just a product of my imagination, but in that moment it became my subtext. It can change always. And when I was younger, especially in theater academy, for many years I was using the memory of my father's suicide in tragical feelings, in horror or fear, or, you know, because when I was 5 years old, I had to clean my father's bloody flat, the room, home. We were cleaning those walls, and I was using this memory as my tool. However, at some point, it experienced inflation. Inflation. And it was the time for me to let it go, because it wasn't helping me, actually. I was just masturbating with that memory, you know, these feelings, and that's bullshit. The most important thing is not to force the subtext to be something specific for you, because it can change from day to day, and from hour to hour, and from minute to minute, and from second to second. It's good to keep an open mind about it, because it can be anything at any moment. But better acting, that's our goal, of course.
Subtext is what's hinted at but not said out loud. It's a tension that's bubbling under the surface. Sometimes it's very obviously written into the text, and sometimes it can be interpreted there by the director or the actor. Subtext is something that can be freely added to acting. To me, it makes acting richer in content. I prefer the work of actresses and actors whose characters' thoughts I can hear under the text or see behind their eyes. These actors know very well why their character is saying the things they are, and it simply makes for more interesting acting. It should be noted that in addition to subtext in acting, a play itself can have its own subtext. As an example, a story about hedgehogs trying to cross a fence could be telling us about class warfare or some such.